Hi, Alice. Happy Friday.
Hi, thank
How,
you.
how are you feeling today?
Um, this week has kind of been pretty productive, I would say. I was able to just talk with my case manager some more, my caseworker Kathy, just about getting, moving on to phase two here at Dove Harbor, kind of be more independent. So that made me feel great to be able
Yeah.
to talk about that. So
Congratulations. You're finally moving on to phase two then.
yes, yes.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Another milestone is this is your third session. So, and you've been coming on time. You've been doing a great job. So you're doing good. You should feel proud of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do know we've really just dug deep in our sessions. We've covered a lot of ground. So I'm just going to kind of recap for us just to sort of refresh our minds. I've sort of told you who I am and what my hopes are for you. You've been able to express to me, what you want of your future self. We've gone over Dove Harbor's policies with confidentiality. Um, I did like a history of your education, your background, your health, and all of that important stuff. And then you've allowed me to understand your struggles and sort of what's hindered you from becoming, this person that you want to become. And then I understand that you're looking for resources and you've been struggling with home placement, so you're just trying to find that reliable life where you can take care of your kids.
Mhm.
um of course, that's a brief summarization, but is there anything that you want to add or any questions that you might have for me?
Um, no, I mean, I don't have anything that I can think of. Like I said, like the last meeting, like we did cover like a lot. And I'm just kind of ready to start moving forward, kind
Yes.
of, yeah, to start getting into like that more autonomous place.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Well, we're getting there. I mean, sounds like you're making a great progress. So keep it up. You're
Thank
doing
you.
great. So another thing in my notes here is I wanted to sort of re-ask. I know you
Mhm.
mentioned that you were struggling with your teenage daughter who recently got in trouble, but
Mhm.
could you just remind me of your kids' ages?
Yeah, so Esther is my teenage daughter and she's 14.
Okay.
And then Abigail, she's 9. And then my last is Jonathan, and he's 8.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, Jonathan is 8. Okay. Are they all in school and all that?
Yeah, Jonathan and Abigail, they're in school and they're doing mostly okay. She's in school, but there's just been like a lot of issues with her fighting and beating up another kid.
Okay.
So that there's some troubles there, and they're thinking they might move her to a different school, for kids with like behavioral issues. So that's something that we're working through.
Okay. Okay. And she's at that 14 age, so that's a rough time for a girl.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that. Also, our last session, I gave you a little homework assignment and I just asked you to like find a moment of peace where you could sort of visualize this future self that you want to be while also being thankful for something that you might have accomplished that day. Were you
Mhm.
able to complete your homework?
Yeah. So I was able to kind of sit and just take a stock of like my life and everything. That day specifically, I got a call from my kids. I was able to talk to them on the phone, and they just kind of, told me that they missed me, and that was kind of something that was like very important for me, and just like kind of helped me just reevaluate things and motivate me to move forward. So, and during that time where I took to kind of sit and just think about stuff, I kind of, I want to be independent, like some of the things that I want to achieve for myself are being more independent, finding my own place. I want to be able to work a better job so I can get some more money.
Mhm.
Um, had written down a couple of stuff here, of course, like we talked about being like a good kid or a good mom to my kids.
Yeah.
and just continuing like I want to be strong like in my faith. Like that's for me, my best self would be able to be, like good and just trusting God like when things go bad. And then just setting boundaries with my husband and just kind of not letting him push me or pressure me into anything.
Okay.
So those are like when I think of like my best self and visualize something, I saw a person in the future that would be able to achieve those things.
Yes. Okay. Well, that makes me happy to hear that you can actually visualize her and that, you know, what I'm trying to do for you is give you this person that you can think of. And I just want you to know that you can make it. Like you can become this person. Like she is there and she's ready to come out. So I'm happy to hear that you're able to see what she looks like.
Yeah.
So with that exercise, then did you like it? Like how did it make you feel?
It was a little bit hard just because, like with everything and how life is just kind of rough and just busy. It was a little bit hard to get into it. I had tried earlier in the day, but it wasn't really working until I got that phone call. I think that's what really and like really kind of made the difference. And like once I did it, I was like, okay, this feels good to think about myself in that future body, and like really motivated me. So
Okay, so it sounds like you just have to be in a certain kind of headspace then to be able to like let yourself, you know,
yeah,
have that moment. Okay,
yeah.
well, that's fine. That's normal. Um, I mean, good job because just achieving it is fantastic. So it's not something you need to do every single day, especially if it's difficult for you. But if you think about it, even just like 30 seconds
Okay.
of just, almost counting your blessings or thinking of future self, whichever one you prefer, but just taking a moment of positivity does world of wonders. So also our last session, I asked you that miracle question, if you woke up in the morning and life was absolutely perfect, what would that look like? And excuse me for looking at my notes. I just want to repeat what you said to me in your own words so it just really sticks with you. You
Mhm.
said that um, you would want to be in your home with your kids without having to worry about your alcohol use.
Mhm.
You'd have a good job, a good, reliable transportation, and you'd have enough money to take care of your kids.
Mhm.
So I just want you to remember that because that's what we're working towards. That is the big end goal that we're going to achieve.
Okay.
You also did a great job just now of sort of telling me a few things that you want. You want to be strong in your faith. Of course, want to be a good mom. You want just almost, it sounds like stability and to be reliable and healthy. So, my biggest question to you are maybe go through some of those and pick
Mhm.
like a few that are most important to you. What do you think those are?
Um, right now, I think the big things are getting enough money to save up for my own place because I feel like that's what I would need to get my own place. So I think that's the thing is finding a good job that would be able to pay me enough. And the other thing would be kind of setting boundaries with my ex-husband, just because I feel like if like I think that we're toxic for each other, and if there's no boundary there, I feel like I just keep being stressed out and not being able to focus on my kids and finding like a good job. So I think that would necessarily be one of the things. It's just like creating like stronger and better boundaries with my ex-husband.
Okay.
And then yeah, I think just being there for my mom right now with Esther kind of struggling, or yeah, being there for my kids as a mom. Esther is struggling in school, like I said, with that battery charge and everything. And I'm just wondering, if she's already going through a lot with us being divorced, and just her not being around me. I feel like there's a little bit more that I could be doing, maybe trying to do some more stuff with them. So I think that would be my other goal, would to try to be like a better mom, be more available for my kids.
Okay. All right. So, um, these are great. These are definitely achievable.
Mm.
I went through and I sort of, picked from your strengths and also just your biggest struggles that you need to overcome to become, this future self that we talk about all the time. And I pulled some goals that line up perfectly with what you just mentioned. So sounds like you and I are on the right track here. The boundaries, that one's going to be a little tricky, that we're going to have to really work together on to make sure that, you stay safe. I know that he sort of has a violent reaction sometimes towards himself. So we just need to, stay safe and work together through that. So that's something that I don't really want you to do quite yet, unless it's just little things, that won't offset him. But we're going to sort of dig deeper later about, what you think his triggers could potentially be. The big one is, unfortunately, money. You need it for the car and the house and the stability. So working on getting a job is something, that we're gonna get to, so
Okay.
that you can be a good mom and you can be, happy with yourself.
Yeah.
So let me see. Going from there, is there anything that you want to add or any questions you have that might have popped up?
No, I think, like you brought up some really good concerns about trying to stay safe, and creating those boundaries with Jed, just because, like with his history of everything, um, I definitely don't want to be able to put him in a space where he feels, like he has no other option but to like hurt himself or myself. And so while, like I feel strong, like negative feelings towards him, like you said, just trying to like identify what might be a trigger for him and just kind of work through that. So I appreciate you saying that.
Oh, yeah, of course. And you also have to think, you're in this new headspace and you're almost like a new person that you were just compared to even a year ago, where he is potentially sitting in the same spot that he's been. So, we kind of have to take extra baby steps to, get him to respect your growth and what you're trying to do. But yeah, we'll be able to accomplish that.
Okay.
So from here then, have you heard of, they're called SMART goals? It's an acronym.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's pretty, it lines up well with what we're trying to accomplish, just in the fact that like you and I are going to take these steps together and it sort of just keeps us focused.
Mhm.
Um, so I gave you a homework assignment last week,
Mhm.
and now I want you to sort of pick out what is something that you want to, or you'd be excited to achieve within like before our next session. So let's say 2 weeks.
Um, so within the next 2 weeks, I guess I would want to maybe see if I can start at least applying for 3 jobs,
Okay.
different jobs. Just applying, I'm not sure if I'd be able to get an interview back or anything, but that's something that I would want to start doing now. And then I guess what another thing that I'd like to do is maybe set up at least 2 times a week when I'm meeting and, with my kids and just kind of going out, just them and I, and maybe even just having like one-on-one dates with them, so that maybe Esther can feel like valued, and not like we can have our one-on-one time and she can feel like I'm more there for her. So that's something I think I could work on in the next couple of weeks. As far as like with my ex-husband, I'm not really sure. I just maybe in the next couple of weeks I could just say, just find a way to kind of say no to him, if he's like pushing me on something. I'm not sure how I would do that, but just finding a way to kind of maybe, or if he asked me to do something, maybe saying, like I'll do it in my time or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you and I are on the same track because I pulled out homework assignments for you and they're almost identical. Um, I think it's really crucial for you and also your kids that you are able to get some time in with them. Um, that's just, I mean, it's beneficial all around. There's really no cons there. Um, what, well, let me go back a little bit. So yeah, that's a big one. Even if it's just one session with them or hanging out with them, because you don't want to overload your plate. You don't want to get overwhelmed and potentially like give up.
Mhm.
And then even if you just apply for one or two jobs, if you're feeling motivated, then three is great. I
Okay.
did want to remind you, at Dove Harbor, we have like a business career section. So there's somebody there that can look over your resume and sort of help you find jobs. So I definitely want to encourage you to, take up that resource that's available to you.
Okay.
With the boundaries that you want to set, that one's a tricky one. So I would almost say to be very gentle in saying no. Maybe if you just said like, oh, well, I have something in my schedule that sort of takes precedence over what you're asking me to do.
Mhm.
Um, that might go over a little better.
Sure.
So I just want you to be extra cautious because, I don't want any setbacks. You're doing a great job. So I don't want to, stress you
Yeah.
out, thing like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really proud of you. Your sessions are getting better and better, and I can just see that you're in a happier headspace. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Definitely keep up with those AA meetings just to, you need that support group as far as, your consumption of alcohol, because you don't want to go back to that sort of fault.
Yeah.
So just to sort of recap, because I know I gave you a bunch of homework. We're going to try to apply to at least one or two jobs, and I
Okay.
want you to get with your kids.
Okay.
Try to get that to be a positive experience, but also maybe dig in deeper with your teenage daughter about what she's feeling. Sort of set yourself aside and just, focus on them.
Yeah.
And that's really it. That's all the goals I have for you right now. I think those are pretty achievable. So, what are your thoughts?
No, they do feel achievable. And they do like you said, maybe kind of taking it slow and being able um to not overload myself, to kind of remember, that it's a brand new process for me, and just trying to make sure that I'm staying realistic in my goals. So yeah.
Sorry, is it still recording?
Hmm.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So yes. Sorry, my computer just sort of threw me off there, but what you're saying makes perfect sense. You can do it. And I do want to just remind you that, not every day is going to be this like positive experience. You are going to struggle, unfortunately. And when you feel that struggle or that stress,
Hmm.
I encourage you to step aside from whatever is it occurring
Hmm.
and calm yourself down and go back to what I mentioned to you about whether it's visualizing your future self
Hmm.
or counting your blessings. I'm sure praying might work for you, especially since you want to be strong in your faith,
Hmm.
taking that moment with God. So I'm excited for you, and I'll see you in 2 weeks and we can sort of recap. Just remember, I'm here no matter what. So if you're struggling or whatever, I am here. So
Thank you. I appreciate it.
of course, enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, you as well.
All right, see you later.
Bye.